Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and today's anime review. Today I'm going to be reviewing an anime called Bastard. In truth, this is a grim, dark romance comedy. Yeah, odd to say the least. This originally came out in the late 80s, and then it was made into a anime in the early 90s. And they're still working on it. They still haven't finished the manga of this particular anime. I don't know why I seem to find myself getting interested in a lot of anime that never actually gets finished. And I'm not saying that this particular anime will never be finished, but wow. It's been 30 years. There's a high probability that it's never going to get finished. Anyway, like I said, this is a romance comedy. Basically, you got this powerful wizard. This is straight out of Dungeons and Dragons fantasy. It's almost, note for note in that respect. It's a second-rate show, absolutely. It's like a bad B-rated version of something that was created at the time that was much better. I have no idea what that other show is, but that's what it feels like. And during this time, there were a lot of shows like that, where there would be a mainstream, AAA production that comes out, and a month or two before or while it's released in the theaters, a B-rated version, if you want to call it, of that show would be released straight to DVD. And that's kind of what this, like I said, that's kind of what this show feels like. It feels like a B-rated version of something better that was made at the time. I have no idea if that's true, but that's kind of what this show feels like. It's a romance comedy, like I said. It's not bad. I enjoyed it. I mean, I own it. I enjoyed it enough to buy it because I watched it a few times. And it's got some, like I said, some interesting aspects to it. But what I wanted to talk about today was one of the monsters and how that kind of relates to a few things. One of the monsters in this show, I don't know what he calls it. I believe it's something like a demizygote or something like that. It's a beholder. It's a floating meatball with eyeballs. Everybody knows what those are. Well, at least here in the US, because we had Dungeons and Dragons. And this show literally couldn't call it that because of copyright. And I think that's kind of insane, to be quite honest with you. In much the same vein that I think it's insane that our courts allowed a man to copyright the Happy Birthday song. Absolute insanity. These type of laws have to go, people. Okay, the only thing the copyright serves to protect is rich people from any kind of accountability for their theft. And what I mean by that is literally what I just stated. Too many times. And it's it's almost a guarantee. I'm not going to say it is a guarantee because there's been a couple of cases where it didn't go that way. But 99.99999% of the time. How copyright truly works is whoever has the most popular version is the one who wins the copyright lawsuit. Even if the less popular version is older and they can prove that, they created it first, doesn't matter. And I've seen it play out that way too many times for it to be, oh, it's a coincidence, it's a one-off. No, that's the norm. And the one-off is when the little guy who develops something that some big publisher steals actually gets their value out of it in that respect. And they're forced to pay for the intellectual property that they stole. That's the rarity. But in truth, I think it should all go. Absolutely. I think people should have the right to build upon others' imaginations. Truly. And if they make something better as a result of it, then they make something better and people enjoy it more. Otherwise, people will continue to enjoy what already exists. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be you're forced to enjoy what already exists because no one else is allowed to create anything from it. That's insanity. That's half the reason that we have the problems we do today with the insanity that they're creating. You have these multi-billionaires who sit there and buy these intellectual properties and then absolutely destroy them. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't fix it. You can't go back and create something of your own from it, because if you do, they'll sue you out of existence. No, they're allowed to destroy it because they own it. They're allowed to make it into whatever they want because they own it. That's insanity. You cannot own imagination. Period. No matter what they write down on a little piece of paper, no matter how many times they say they have the right to, you cannot ever own someone's imagination. Period. It's just not possible. Yet copyright tries to claim they can. And that you're in the wrong for thinking otherwise. It needs to end. Period. People need to be able to grow and expand, improve upon, and copyright has stifled, stunted, and in many cases completely snuffed out any kind of advancement, especially when it comes to entertainment. Because at this point, almost everything's been copyrighted. Almost any idea, thought, belief, understanding that you could conceive has been copyrighted at this point. So there is nothing that you could create truly today, because of the insanity of copyright law, that isn't already owned by someone else. And if you start to become popular with it, they will just snuff you out of existence by suing you out of existence. Anyway, that's my rant for the day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of yours.